Hello YouTube. I thought today I'd do a video response to Suffolk Andy. Well, in particular Suffolk Andy's daughter, Amy. Now Amy asked 5 questions, and what I'll do, I'll put a link below to the original video that Suffolk Andy published. I think it was back in March. So Amy, here are the answers to the 5 questions. So question number 1, Amy asked, what type of music do I listen to? Well Amy, I listen to quite a varied mix of music. Many years ago I was kind of into melodic rock, so bands like Whitesnake, Def Leppard, Bon Jovi, etc. And I still listen to those to this day, so I still enjoy listening to those, but my tastes have kind of moved on since then, and the sort of bands that I like listening to now are sort of Coldplay, I like Keane, Imagine Dragons, people like that. In fact, 2 bands I'm listening to at the moment on my phone. I'm listening to Bon Jovi, one of their more recent albums, and I'm also listening to Ed Sheeran. I quite like his music, so I have quite a varied taste in music. Question number 2. What is the most embarrassing thing I've ever done? Well Amy, I've done hundreds and hundreds of embarrassing things in my life, but I thought about something that I did at work many years ago that not many people know about. I think I was in my mid-20s, and at the time I was working for the county council here in Derbyshire, and I was still quite new at the job. I think I'd been there less than a year, and it was round about the time when we started getting individual email addresses. Prior to that we never had email at work, and what it made everyone be is more accessible. And I remember a time when I was trying to get something done at work. I think it was some leaflets. Ooh, horse. And I couldn't get these leaflets for love nor money. And I raised it with my manager, and he was dragging his heels. I raised it with his manager. He was dragging his heels, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to send an email to the chief executive of the council, and that's what I did. I sent this really shirty email to the then Chief Executive of Derbyshire County Council, moaning about the lack of kind of effort on the part of my manager and his line manager to get these leaflets ordered, because it was taking absolutely weeks and weeks to get it sorted. Anyway, it did the trick, and the Chief Executive kind of hauled his understudy in, who was overall in charge of the area that I worked in, gave him a bollocking. He in turn gave the manager under him a bollocking, and that eventually fed down to the managers that I'd had difficulty with, and they had a bollocking as well. Well, you can imagine what happened after that. I was kind of hauled in and told in no uncertain terms that that wasn't the thing to do. But I said, look, if you just did your bloody job, I wouldn't need to bloody go to the top. And anyway, like I say, because I hadn't been there very long, I pretty much was unknown by then. Well, after that email, I can tell you that everybody within the council knew who I was, and that was pretty embarrassing, because any meeting I went to afterwards, almost everybody raised the issue of this email that I sent, and the kind of the issues that it promptly raised. So yeah, that was pretty embarrassing. Next question number 3. Have I got any nicknames that are not my YouTube channel? Well, I don't have any nicknames at the moment, but many years ago I used to have a nickname, and my nickname in those days was Lowry. Now, named after the painter who used to paint matchstick men and matchstick cats and dogs. And it's because I was as thin as a rake in those days, and I used to play American football when I was younger, and I was really very thin, and not what you would call the typical American football, but I was pretty good. But all the guys in the team used to call me Larry because I was so bloody thin. So although I don't have a nickname now, Amy, that was my nickname in my younger days, and it was Larry. Question number 4, she asks, do I have any hobbies that aren't motorbike related? I do actually, Amy, and one of my hobbies, and one that I spend, oh god, as much time as I do on YouTube with, and that's I play a game called Second Life. Now, for those that don't know, Second Life is a virtual reality world whereby you create an avatar and you interact with other avatars. There are people all around the world, and I've done that for, oh, let's think, at least 8 or 9 years now. And you know, once I get going in that on that game, I can immerse myself for hours on end. So that's the only hobby that I've got really outside of motorbiking and vlogging, is spending far too much time in this virtual world called Second Life. And the 5th and final question from Amy, she asked what was my very first Suffolk Andy video that I watched. Now I really had to rack my brains about this one, so I had a bit of a look on his channel, and I looked at the most earliest video I could find that I'd made a comment on, and I think it was the video that Andy did on vlogging and swearing, whereby he talked about you know, the joys of vlogging and whether he felt at the time it would be something that would be sustainable for him. And he also talked about how sometimes swearing in vlogs sometimes puts him off. So yeah, I think that was probably the very first vlog of Suffolk Andy's that I watched, and I think that was published in January 2014. So I've been watching Suffolk Andy's channel for quite some time now, so yeah. So there you go, there's my 5 questions, Amy. I hope you enjoyed the answers. I certainly enjoyed giving you the answers to those questions. Anybody else wants to have a go, I'll put a link to the original vlog that Suffolk Andy published in the description box below. So have a go, and as always guys, ride safe, and I'll catch you next time.